Rusty Stainless here. Today I'm reviewing the Canon 18 to 135mm IS STM lens. This is the lens that they brought in to match up with the 650D and subsequently the 700D. It goes with very nicely. It's got improved focusing for video mode. Let's just stick it on here. This is a fabulous combination for travel. I've always used this lenses in this range to when I'm traveling. It's you know, you've got the long reach, sticks out a little bit, but generally in the shorter reaches it's a nice combination. It's not too heavy. I really love the feel of it on this camera. I mean, this is a lovely combination to handle, and as far as autofocus goes, this thing just hits the mark, especially through the viewfinder, that optical viewfinder with this autofocus and speed of light kind of stuff. So I really love this. In video mode, it's tracks fairly well. It's good follow focus, and so again it's a nice little package to use. So all in all, a fabulous lens with no faults. Well, no, unfortunately it does have one big fault, and other reviewers I've read seem to want to skirt around it, but the truth is that this is a very soft lens. So let me put that in perspective. If this was the only lens you had, and this is the only camera you were ever using, you would take nice photos and you'd view them at, say, up to an 8x10, and you'd be happy. You'd never want for anything more. But unfortunately, I do have other cameras and other lenses, and when you use those other combinations, you start to see how really soft this is. So if you were taking a great travel photo that you thought you were going to blow up to like a half poster size, you would be very disappointed with the lack of detail at that bigger enlargements. I've compared it to lenses like the Sigma 18 to 135. This is definitely sharper than this. This actually has more contrast than this, but this doesn't have the range of this lens. This lens is a 1.8, this is a 3.5. This lens costs a lot more. So, you know, it's hard to get a fair comparison by putting those two together. I've compared it to the 50mm lens. This is a prime lens. Not surprisingly, it's sharper than the zoom lens. So you probably say, well, fair enough. But then here's the real comparison. Panasonic G6. It's actually got a smaller sensor than the Canon Micro Four Thirds versus the APS. Excuse me if I get that wrong. Always seem to. So here's the Panasonic with a 14 to 140 zoom lens on. So this pair is a fair comparison, and unfortunately I will now post the photo for you to look at, comparing the sharpness of the photos. So there you go. It's quite glaring that this is way sharper than this. I will say though, you can still take some very nice photos with this, and if all you were ever going to do, as I said, don't go beyond 8x10s. and you're only viewing them on your computer and sending them as files on the computer, loading them up onto your web page where they're not going to be blowing up, this will be fine. It's actually value-wise, this is a cheaper package than this. This lens is more expensive than this lens. So from an industrial point of view, as I say, web-based stuff or some holiday snaps, this is absolutely bang for buck. This is where I'd be. But if you were planning to go, you're looking for that sharpness and that detail, then I'd be looking for something else. Not necessarily ditching Canon and buying Panasonic, but I would be certainly looking for a different lens to this lens. So there you have it. It was difficult to review this lens knowing that about the softness, but by the hell, it's still feels damn nice in your hands, and it's still a good package for 9/10 of the way.